Can everyone hear me now? I have no clue why there was no sound. We have to start all over. Thanks for letting me know in the chat. I appreciate that. Okay. Welcome to So What, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and I hope you're having a great start to your week. I have the cutest project to share with you today. It is so adorable. I think you're all going to love it. It's a great project if you happen to have kids that have a Thanksgiving break right now and they need something to do. This is a great way to, get creative with them and have them contribute to some cute decorations for the holiday season, specifically for Santa's arrival. So that is the project we are going to be working through today. I linked directly to where to get the free templates for the project. It's on the Sulky blog. I gave you the exact link in the description of today's post. You will also find featured products, and that's where you can shop around at sulky.com and find the items that we used for today's project and easily grab those up if you need to. I also linked to some other exciting events and happenings here at Sulky. As most of you know, unless you're brand new to So What, and if you are, welcome, and we are so happy to have you here today. You, I'm sure, are aware on some level, if you are associated with Sulky, that we are about to embark on our Christmas market tour with Craft Tours. We leave in the beginning of December. Actually, it is not the beginning of, yes, it is the beginning of December. I don't know what I'm talking about. The days are starting to just blend together. I don't know if this happens to you over the holidays, but especially when my kids are out of school, I have to look at my calendar and figure out what day it is. Because there's just so many things going on and it starts to just all kind of run together. But at any rate, in a couple of weeks, we're going to leave for Germany and Austria. We are going to go to the Sulky Thread Factory and see how Sulky thread is made. We're doing so many things during this tour. First and foremost, all the Christmas markets we can possibly pack in to this nine-day tour, I think. Anyway, if you missed out on signing up for this year's Christmas market tour, we have one that's happening next year as well. And we've added France and Switzerland to that trip. So it will be Germany, Switzerland, and France. And we will be hitting up the Christmas markets again. And yes, there will be a Sulky factory tour on that trip as well. So if you are interested, but you weren't able to sign up this year, be sure to head on over to the link that I put in the description of today's post, and you will be able to see the entire itinerary and get a feel for the payment plans and all the things that you can do to join us next year. Also, don't forget, we will be headed to Greece in May of 2026. You can check out this tour using the same link that I put in the description of today's post. I don't even know how to describe to you all how excited I am to see Greece in person and just soak up all of the sights and sounds and foods and all of the things. I've always wanted to go to Greece and I just can't wait. And what I love about a craft tours trip is it's very crafty centric, right? We get to see local artisans. We get to experience their crafts. We can soak up so much inspiration for our own sewing projects, quilting projects, crafty projects. You get the idea. So you can check out that tour as well. We still have openings for this tour, so definitely check it out. And we have some more exciting locations on the docket as well. So you will find our next Bali tour. It's happening in July of 2026. This is a great time to go to Bali. I don't really know if there's a bad time to go to Bali, quite honestly. It's going to be very, how do you say, eat, pray, love, we're going to go to the rice terraces that Julia Roberts was in that movie. They are unbelievably spectacular. It is something that you've probably seen either in that movie or you've seen pictures of it. It does not do it justice. It's absolutely breathtaking. It is definitely something that should be on your bucket list. We're also going to make our own batik fabrics. We're going to see how batik fabric is made, and then we get to make our own. It's pretty great. We also get to shop in all of these textile shops, and you can get batik fabrics for a mere fraction of the cost that you would find them here in the States. It is an unbelievable experience. It's really transformative. Also, here is our France, Germany, and Switzerland tour, November 30th to December 9th. So this one is taking place over Krampus night. I don't know if you are familiar, but super fun. All of the Krampus crazies, I don't know what to call them, will be crawling the streets. I believe Krampus night is December 6th, and it is just a sight to see. It's really, really fun. And of course, adding France and Switzerland to the mix really just makes this such a special tour and one that we have not done before as well. And then planning way ahead into 2027, we will have a Tuscany tour. That's right. We will be going to Italy. And not only are we going to Italy, we are going to the best spots in Italy. This is a picture of the Cinque Terre. And we will be going there on this train ride, and it stops in a number of villages. And this is just spectacular and a great, great time to go to Italy, a place that's very, very near and dear to my heart, and where sulky cotton thread is made. So all of these tours are now up and ready for registrations. Be thinking about these as the holidays are coming, because they have some really great deals right now. If you book early, you get an early booking discount. And I think that's only good until beginning of January. So it really is the time to think about these tours. You don't have to, go all in all at once as far as, your finances and whatnot, but definitely check out the early booking discount. I think it's something like $700 you can save if you book early. And so it's really, really worth it to check these out now. That's why I wanted to bring them to your attention. All right, let's see. Grace says, hi from Florida, where the weather is great. Love that. Betsy, so exciting. Betsy, are you going to come on a tour with us? I would love to meet you in person one of these days. And I mean that to all of you as well. There's so many of you that I recognize your names over the years here on So What. And it's just so great to finally meet you in person. There's a number of people who have come on our tours, and you still watch So What and say hi to me all the time, and we're just like one big happy family. And it really is true. When you are traveling with these groups of people that love to do what you do, it's like you're friends right off the bat because you already have something in common, and it just makes the travels so much better when they're catered to the things you love to do. Fabric shopping. If you go on a tour like this with your family, who's going to want to go fabric shopping with you? I don't know about you, but not my family probably. But at any rate, you get the idea. These are just spectacular experiences. All right, let's see. Time just disappears. See, Colleen, good to see you. Colleen is going to be joining us in Germany. Love it. I've traveled with Colleen on a couple of other trips, and we're just besties at this point. It's really great. Can't wait to see you. All right, Linda says, how big are the tour groups? It really varies, but we like to keep the tours to just under 30 people, I think, is a really nice number. The very first craft tours trip that I did, before I was with Sulky, we had like 45 people on that tour, and it was so big. It was kind of difficult to, get everyone to come back on time and just keep track of everyone. I mean, the tour managers that we have from craft tours are incredible humans. They're so good at what they do. They really prepare you every single day to tell you exactly what we're doing, where to be, when, if there's free time, things like this. And if you don't want to have free time, if you don't want to go out on your own, they're always there and happy to welcome you to whatever they have planned that they're going to do. That's what's also really great about this is if you don't have a travel partner, but you want to go to these places, but you don't want to travel alone, this is the way to do it. So at any rate, I think anything over 30 is it's too many people. And you don't get to have those experiences where you meet everyone and you all, there are tours I've had where we have free time and we just choose to spend it together anyway. Or we all say, hey, what are you guys going to do this afternoon? Let's meet at the pool, or let's all go have a drink at the bar or something like this. So at any rate, we like to keep it just under 30 people. I think that's really manageable. And we welcome couples if you want to come with your husband or a family member or something like that. A lot of the times they like to join in even on our hands-on workshop. I've had plenty of husbands come in and sew along with us, and they have a great time, and they almost end up being the comic relief. So at any rate, it's such a good experience. Let's see. Kathy says, yep, 30 people is a good number. Let's see if there's any other questions. Jana says, Bali would be my dream tour. It is so, I can't even put Bali into words. It was, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect when we went to Bali last year. I just was going with an open mind, and usually I like to do a lot of research before these tours, and especially for downtime, I'm like, or alone time rather. I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I also like to keep myself open if anybody would like to come with me to a dinner or just a different excursion or something when we have free time. So I like to kind of do some research, especially for restaurants, things like that. And for Bali, I honestly just went totally rogue. Like I just showed up. I had my little tour booklet from Craft Tours, and I was like, I'm just going to go with the flow, and whatever I stumble upon, that's what I'm going to do. And it ended up being so amazing. So whether you're a planner to the nines and you get your tour book from Craft Tours, I'm going to show you what the tour book is like, because it's just so nice that they offer this after you register for a tour, and before your departure date, they send out a care package. This time we got this backpack, and you get a lanyard with your name on it that you can tuck your personal items in, and you get this, which is my favorite. So for every tour, they print out this booklet, and it has every single day what is planned, what you're doing inside. So special. I keep these for every tour that I've ever done. It's like my favorite souvenir because you can write notes as to what you actually do every day. It'll tell you this is, we're beginning our tour and this is where we're starting. And then there's room for notes. So you can write in here, my luggage arrived on time and everything was perfect. Whatever you want to write. I ate pizza at the airport and it was incredible. I couldn't believe it. Whatever you want to say. But I love writing down, especially for free time, what I did that time. Maybe even how much it cost, went into the cathedral and heard the choir singing, something like this. It was €2, totally worth it, whatever like that, because I don't remember day to day, sometimes what I did. Again, it all starts running together, especially the wonderful food that I eat. I love to write that down because all of these like sense memories help me to, remember everything that I've done every single day. And then if I ever go back, I look at my previous tour booklets and I'm like, ooh, I remember this restaurant we ate at and I had the XYZ and I've got to order that again because, it was so delicious. These kinds of things. So love, love, love that they do this. I think it is absolutely amazing. So if you like to plan, you can write your notes ahead of time. Maybe check out this restaurant in the area, blah, blah, blah. Or you can fly by the seat of your pants and just take every single day as it comes. All right. Do you meet at a particular airport and fly over in a group? Yes, we do. So depending on where we're coming from, like for example, Bali, we all departed from LAX, Los Angeles. So you do have to get yourself to our departing airport. Our Bali trip was kind of crazy because there were so many delays. I mean, not only is it a very, very long trip to Bali, you have a layover somewhere. Like we had a layover in Taiwan before we went to Bali. Was it Taiwan? See how I can't even remember what goes on? At any rate, not only is it a terribly long travel day to begin with, but almost every single flight going into LAX was delayed. Then our flight from LAX was delayed. And so everyone was coming from so many different places. It was really hard to connect at that airport. But typically, I try to be at the gate ahead of time. I try to, find everyone at the gate. We all have our little name tags so we can kind of easily identify each other. It's just kind of nice to, introduce ourselves before we even get on the flight, if that is possible. There are people too who they will get a land only rate because maybe they have frequent flyer miles or they want to fly a particular airline or something like that. So they will arrange their own airfare. Those people we will meet at the destination. So it really kind of depends, but I would say for the most part, we do meet at the departing airport, ideally at the gate before we depart. If someone's late or something like that, there could be extenuating circumstances, delayed flights, things like this, but you get the idea. So for, Europe and Germany, we meet at JFK and we leave from there. So, all right. See, Peggy, hello. Great to see you. Peggy was on our very first Christmas market tour with Sulky. And turns out we were both from Colorado and became fast friends. So all the things. All right. Any more questions on the tours coming up? You can also head on over to that link I put in the description of today's post. Look at all the tour options, figure out what is first on your bucket list and go from there. Maybe there's a time that works best for you for traveling in the coming, year, and you can, kind of gauge it in that way. All right. Let's see. Another item of business before we get to our adorable project today is our New Year's Eve sew-along. I know it is not even Christmas yet, and we were talking about New Year's Eve, but it is important to register for this event early so that you can get your pattern, your embroidery designs, your checklist, so that you can kind of prep and have everything ready to go on the day we go live, which, you guessed it, is New Year's Eve. We're going to start sewing at noon Eastern time. Okay, that's 10 a.m. for me. Might be different for you depending on your time zone. So make sure that you jot down the correct time, but 12 p.m. noon Eastern time, we're going to start sewing. And the event is about 4 hours long. We like to cap it at 4 hours because we know you have things to do. It's New Year's Eve after all. So we do go at a pretty good pace for the sew along to make sure that we can finish on time, but it is recorded so that you can go back and review anything that you might have missed. And if you can't join that day, you can watch the recording afterwards and sew along with us anyway. There are great door prizes to have during this event. You could win a $100 shopping spree at sulky.com or sallytomato.com just by registering. With your registration fee, you do get the pattern and 2 in the hoop embroidery designs absolutely free with purchase of the event. Okay, so everything comes with it, including that recording, and it never expires. So our pattern this year is Lamont. We will be making the mini size Lamont, so the one that you're looking at on the right here in those beautiful Tula pink fabrics. That is the size that we will be making on New Year's Eve. It's a little bit easier to manage. It has some fewer components. You'll notice that the strap is a little bit different. So that one we are able to sew in the 4-hour time block, and it's a great size for everyday wear, travel, really any kind of excursion, right? Our theme this year is Adventure Awaits because this bag can take you on a number of adventures, even maybe a craft tours adventure with Sulky. All right. So Adventure Awaits is the motif that we are featuring on the In the Hoop accessories that come with the Lamont sew along. I will, however, be teaching you during the event how to swap out that design and use something that maybe you already have in your machine or maybe something that you have purchased in the past. Same goes for that key fob. You will get this starburst kind of design. It comes with this key fob, but I will also show you how to use an existing design that you might have to swap that if you desire. So I think these projects you're going to be using over and over again, or these design files rather, because you can personalize them and they make such good gifts for people as well. This is sized to fit those really popular spray hand sanitizers like these little guys. They have a lot of generic brands of these too now. That's how popular they are. They're nice and slim and it fits right inside of this pouch. But it also fits a mini Kleenex, you know, little doggy waste bags, things like that. And you can clip this to the strap on your Lamont bag. So this is going to be such a great time. I love spending New Year's Eve sewing. I mean, I would rather do that than watch all the weird TV that they have on New Year's Eve with all of these musical artists that I've never heard of. I mean, sometimes, I don't know, you get the idea. All right, lots of people saying my kit's on its way. New Year's Eve. Perfect. All right, so let's get to the Santa Wardrobe Garland. Thank you, Winnie. This, as I mentioned, is one of the cutest projects, right? So here we have Santa's wardrobe, and it's hanging on the little clothesline right above the fireplace on the mantle, right? It's like Santa is just waiting for the day so he can grab his clothes and head off into the night on New Year's Eve. So cute, right? So I got the idea for this because I actually saw something a little bit similar to this. It was called Santa's Clothesline, and it was all done with yarn. It was all crocheted. And I just thought it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And it was really reminding me of like paper dolls. So I thought, first off, this is a great craft to include the kids on when they've got this free time, whether it's Thanksgiving break or winter break, or even just a weekend before the holidays. So it's great for kids, but it's also fun for adults as well. And it comes together rather quickly. You really just need some sulky felty. You can go into your button jar and find some cute buttons. This features 5 buttons, 3 on Santa's coat and 2 on Santa's pants, holding those cute little suspenders in place. And then some perfect applique fusible web. And then, of course, you need some sulky thread. So for this, since we're working with felty and it's a little bit craftier type project, I like to go with a heavier weight thread so that you can really see the thread. It becomes a design detail rather than just purely for, attaching things together, right? So for this, I like to use our 30 weight cotton thread. It's the thread that I prefer to use for quilting and for a lot of top stitching details. So the 30 weight thread is a little bit thicker than your 40 weight rayon or polyester thread that you might use for machine embroidery. And it's a little bit lighter weight than our 12 weight thread, which is what we like to use for handwork. Now, if you are doing this project with a couple of kids or something like this, or maybe a beginner sewist, you can do all the stitching by hand as well. And in that case, I would go up to the 12 weight cotton thread. 1 strand of our 12 weight cotton thread is equal to 2 strands of your traditional embroidery floss. So you only need 1 strand. It's a lot less to deal with. It comes on a spool. You can also use 12 weight thread in your sewing machine. You just have to make sure that you have a big enough needle eye to accommodate that thread thickness. So you will need to use a size 100 needle. It'll be a 116 needle, and then you can use it in your sewing machine as well. So if you want to use the 12 weight thread and get an even thicker thread, a more like hand done look, but use your sewing machine, you can use that 12 weight thread. But for this, we used the 30 weight cotton thread. So a little bit thicker than, like a all-purpose or 50 weight thread, but also a little bit thinner than our handwork thread. You get the idea. All right, so it is just one-dimensional paper doll-like projects, right? Or pieces, rather. Where did I put mine? So you've got your cute little Santa mittens. You'll obviously need 2 of these. You've got your little Santa socks. So cute. He's really got big feet, if you can tell. And then you've got Santa's little scarf, right? So easy, really cute. Just a little fringe detail. You could even applique. Maybe you want like an S on here. So it's really bringing home the Santa vibes. Lots of ways to personalize this, of course, as with all of our sewing projects. And then we've got Santa's coat. Oh my gosh. What? So cute. And Santa's pants with the little suspenders. Oh my gosh. What? I just cannot even with these. Okay. And then, of course, you've got to have Santa's hat. All right. So all the templates that you need to cut out are available on the Sulky blog. I linked directly to where you can get them, download them, print them out, so you can grab them. So you'll see pants, cut 1, all the little details, the little, toe and heel of the socks, all the little cuffs, the little coat trim, all of the pieces are ready for you. Just need to print them out, cut them out, right? And then you've got all of your little patterns. The suspenders are the cutest. All right. Let's see. Oh, here's just another picture. You could see the little socks drying out, or, oh, just love it. Okay. So here is a little sampling sort of what you will see when you get your pattern. Okay. So there will be a color key that looks similar to this, so you know what goes where. You can make your scarf out of green felty, red felty. You can switch up any of these colors as you see fit, but we are using sulky felty. Somebody just asked what material you're using. So sulky felty is, I don't know, the best craft felt, the best embroidery felt out there, in my opinion. It is polyester, 100% polyester, so you can wash it, you can fuse it, so you can use it as appliques. You can use a low temperature iron on it. All the things you really cannot do with a wool felt, but it has the sort of high-end feel, almost like a wool felt, but obviously it's polyester, so you get the idea there. But it is also manufactured to withstand so many needle penetrations. You can use it for machine embroidery and it doesn't buckle or pucker. You don't get any little stretching around even the densest of embroidery designs. So it's really, really great for machine embroidery. It's beautiful for handwork, very easy to stitch through, unlike some of those, stiffer craft felts that you'll get, kind of piecemeal at the craft store, things like that. Don't go for that. This felty comes in sheets. We have a holiday assortment. I linked to that directly in the description of today's post. So you can use the holiday assortment. I was going to show you one of the rules here. You can use the holiday assortment, which comes in pre-cut sheets that are about 8 by 10. Okay, that'll work for this project. But you can also grab up rolls of felty. So we have even used this to create some really high-end looking bags. We have a project called the Felty Tote, and it's a pattern you can get at sulky.com, and it's made out of 2 rolls of felty, and it really looks like a high-end wool felt bag, and it's made out of this stuff. It's just so nice to sew. Your seams will lie flat because you can put an iron to it, things like this. And again, the embellishment really easy on this because it just takes all of that thread with no problems. So you can grab up a roll of white, a roll of red, and maybe a roll of green if you want to have that green detailing as well. And you'll have plenty left over to do other things with, whether it's holiday items or, as I mentioned, machine embroidery is beautiful on this stuff. I did last week's project, our holiday shelf pillow, using felty in the center because I was using a really, really dense embroidery design, and I knew that the quilting cotton fabric wasn't going to be, I don't know, the fabric that I was using was very, very lightweight. So even with a ton of stabilizer, it was going to change the hand of that fabric. And I just felt like the felty was going to give it a little bit of texture. You get the idea. All right, Melanie says, I made that felty bag and I love it. So easy to sew. Love it. This would be so cute in the classroom. Love that. Okay, so felty is our material, and once you have the pattern, it's really just a matter of cutting out your pieces. Now, we're doing this a little bit backwards as far as applying the fusible web to our pieces because only some of the items need fusible web, and some of the items only need it in a certain area. So typically for the pieces that we need fusible web attached to, like the toe and heel of the little socks, you can apply the fusible web to your felty first and then cut out those pieces, or you can cut out your fusible web after and place it on the felty to apply it. So it's really up to you. But as I mentioned, some of the pieces don't need all of the fusible web. So for example, on the pant, the little cuff, it extends below the pant lower edge a little bit. So if you were to put fusible on the entire back side of the little hem cuff, right, you would have fusible sticking out of the other side because it doesn't all get attached to the bottom of the pant. Does this make sense? Another thing is you could cut two of the little trim pieces and like sandwich your legs, and then it would be the same whether you're looking at it from the front or the back. Because right now, as I mentioned, they're just like one dimensional. So you can see, you know, on this coat, you can obviously see the stitching on the back, but you can also see the edge of all that trim piece. So if you want it to be viewed from the front and the back, depending on where you are hanging it, you can cut two of all those trim pieces and put them on the front and the back. Does this make sense? Okay. And in that case, I would put fusible on the back side of all of those trim pieces so that you could fuse them together, whether, you know, the interior or inside piece extends beyond it or not. Okay. So put fusible web on the pieces that you need. Basically, it's going to be the coat trim and most of the cuffs except for the pants. The pant cuff, as I mentioned, unless you are doing 4 of them, it extends a little bit beyond the pant edge. All right, you get the idea. After you have your fusible web attached to your felty pieces, there we are kind of pulling the paper backing off of our felty pieces. And this fusible web that Sulky makes, the Perfect Applique fusible web, when you put it on felty, you can hardly even see that it's there. You really have to feel the piece to feel the tackiness to know that it has fused on there. That's how lightweight and nice this fusible web is. So I just want to mention that you will need to feel that so that you don't accidentally put it fusible side up when you're actually fusing it to the piece. All right. Then you just need to place all of your pieces according to the pattern and fuse them with a low to medium temperature iron. Do not use steam. And all you need is for it to be a little bit tacky so that you can do all of your stitching. So we're going to fuse our cute little trim to the pants and, of course, to our little hat. Oh, also the hat. You don't want to put fusible web on this whole piece because see how it just overlaps the end of the hat ever so slightly? You could probably get away with not having fusible web on this piece, and you can use a little bit of KK2000 or even just pin it in place before you sew it down. So this little piece probably don't need the fusible web. Otherwise, it's going to extend beyond your piece. But again, you could also sandwich this and just cut another one of these and put it on the other side and then fuse it together. Same as you would do for the pants if you wanted to see it from both sides. All right, so for the stitching I mentioned, we're going to use that 30 weight cotton thread. You could, of course, use whatever thread weight you like, but I like the way that the 30 weight thread looks on the felty. And you're going to need a 90-14 needle for the 30 weight thread, okay? So you want to stitch or sort of top stitch or edge stitch every single piece using the thread color that matches that piece. Now, of course, you could leave the stitching off of these items and honestly just cut them out of felty. But the stitching, see how the stitching kind of stabilizes the felt and it helps it just stand up a little bit better? So it really does, you know, serve a purpose other than a decorative one. So I think it's really important to stitch every single piece. Also, it really does give it that kind of handmade look, and we love to sew, right? So let's sew every piece. Okay, so you could sew all of these pieces independently and then sort of assemble them afterwards, except for the pieces that get appliqued on top of other pieces, all right? So for example, we are gonna sew the whole pant edge and the whole suspender edge. And then after fusing the trim, then we will sew the trim. That way all of our edges are, you know, concealed and everything has a finished edge to it. All right, so same goes for the little socks. You will edge stitch the sock first, then applique your toe and heel, or fuse your toe and heel rather, and then sew that piece. So you can kind of, you know, thread your machine with the red first, sew all the red pieces, thread your machine with the green, sew all the green, you get the idea. Finish up with the white trim pieces, and you can kind of assembly line style it, you know? Here we are adding that little heel piece to the sock. Such a cute little detail. Love it. It really does come together rather quickly. And as I mentioned, you can definitely do this sewing by hand. Put on your favorite holiday flick and hand sew your applique pieces. It still wouldn't even take that long. And it's just a great little craft that you can share with somebody else. Have a girlfriend over, watch your favorite holiday movie, sew up some cute little Santa's wardrobe pieces. And all you have to do then is hang it up on a garland by the mantle. I've also seen these really cute options where you take a shower curtain rod or even just a regular spring curtain rod, and you can put it in your door openings. Maybe you have a frame out in one of your rooms. You can put it there, wrap garland around it, and then you can hang your cute little Santa clothesline or Santa's wardrobe off of that little clothesline. So even if you don't have a mantle, fireplace, that type of situation, you can hang this in a doorway and make it so cute. I mean, love it. Also, I was able to find these super cute glittered clothespins at the Hobby Lobby, right? I mean, how cute. So this is just a really cute way to hang and display them, but you could certainly string them up. You could even sew like ribbon to the upper edges of them and then kind of drape it like you would a bunting, or even use some double fold, pre-made double fold bias binding, wrap the binding around each piece and then have it hang like that. So very similar to how you would make a bunting. So different ways of displaying it, of course. And I also like just kind of draping them over a clothesline. I just think, oh my gosh, it is the cutest thing, right? All right, Linda says, does Felty come patterned? I've seen this before, but the top is attached to a bottom and cut slightly smaller. Felty does not come patterned, but now I really want it to. I never even thought about that, but that is a cute idea. Nope, right now we have tons of colors available at sulky.com of the Felty. The rolls are $16.99. And then if you get an assortment, those are also $16.99. The assortment comes with a ton of sheets in different colors. You can get a rainbow assortment, a neutral assortment, a holiday assortment. We also have a really pretty spring assortment that has like pinks and light greens and whites and creams. And so there's all kinds of different ways of grabbing up that Felty depending on the project that you're thinking about. But if you are thinking on a larger scale, like making a tote, for example, definitely grab up those rolls in the colors that sort of speak to you. We do actually have heathered Felty. So it's not necessarily patterned, but we do have some heathered varieties, like a dark blue heather, a beige heather, a brown heather. So you can take a look at those too. So they have a little bit of like a mottled look to them. So I guess we sort of have a pattern if you think of a pattern that way. Everyone loves the clothespins. I know. I hope you're able to find them because they were a gem. You know, you probably could get run-of-the-mill clothespins, get some like glitter spray paint if you aren't able to find these, and just spray, you know, cheapo clothespins with the glitter spray paint, and then you would have something similar to my cute little clothespins. I do have to store them in a bag though because the glitter gets everywhere. I think that it's all over my lap just from not all over, but it definitely sprayed me when I was just showing you the one. So there you go. Let's see. Noreen says, I've got a box of tiny clothespins about an inch long that would work. That's so cute too. Love that idea. Santa pants, loving it. Oh, Jana also says felty on embroidered cards is the best. Yes, that's a great idea. We have an entire session on embroidering greeting cards, which is really great for the holidays coming up too. If you missed that, you can find it at sewingonline.sulky.com. And a number of those cards are made with sulky felty because you can embroider such, you know, denser designs with a lot of fill stitches on the felty, whereas you can't embroider those on that specific, you know, watercolor paper or cardstock that sometimes people use for cards. So yes. All right. Beth says, I'm going to have to look at some felty. You definitely should try it if you've never, you know, tried the felty before. Grab up an assortment pack. You're going to use it for so many things. I really go to it for a lot more than I ever thought that I would. I just love working with it so much. It's really, really easy to sew. All right. Let's see. Robin says, how can I get this project? So this project is at blog.sulky.com. I linked directly to the full tutorial in the description of today's post. That's where you will find the templates for cutting out all of our cute little paper doll pieces. So if you're not seeing that, you'll need to click on that little button that says see more. It'll be right in the little corner of the description of today's post. It truncates the description so you can't read it all. You have to click on more, and then the whole thing will pop out for you, and you'll find links for the project, the templates, the felty, everything I was talking about today. And you will also find the link for our craft tours trips that we have coming up in 2026 and 2027. All right. Let's see. Can you only get felty from your website? Yes, actually, you can only get it at sulky.com right now. I'm hopeful that you will be able to get it other places in the future. But right now it is at sulky.com. All right. Jana is saying, do we get any super sneaky peeks for the upcoming mystery box? I love that, Jana. Thinking ahead. We will have a mystery box coming up. And I'm going to tell you all about it next week. But make sure that you are signed up for the Sulky newsletter because you will get first dibs on the mystery box. Our holiday-esque, really, it's a winter mystery box this year. Have you all heard of the term burr basket? Raise your hand. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard of the term burr basket. So a burr basket is kind of like, have you all heard about getting booed over Halloween? So to get booed, that means you've created a cute little Halloween themed basket, and it's kind of like May Day. You know, you go and you put it on like somebody's front porch, or maybe at the office, you put it on someone's chair and you leave it anonymously. And in there, it'll say, I've gotten booed, right? And pass it along, something like this. So a burr basket is kind of similar to that. A burr basket is a little gift basket that you'd put together for a friend or neighbor with all kinds of things that keep you cozy over the winter time. Maybe there's a pair of fuzzy socks inside. Maybe there's some hot cocoa mix. Maybe there's a nice candle that smells like the holidays or something like this. So this burr basket trend, it really took off, I think, last winter. But it's definitely here to stay. I see it on social media all the time, people creating things to gift somebody a burr basket. So our mystery box kind of is following that trend. It is very similar to a burr basket that you will want to gift yourself, quite honestly. And it's going to come up after Black Friday. So look for our mystery box hitting on Cyber Monday, December the 1st. It's going to be here before you know it in a few short days. And you will want to grab one while you can because they're going to be available for a very limited time. Once they're gone, just like all of our mystery boxes. And our Cyber Monday box is always super mega, okay? We literally call it a mega mystery box because you will be getting, I think it's like over $90 worth of stuff for $49.99. So thank you, Jana, for asking about that. That's going to be coming up next Monday. So on Tuesday, I will be telling you more about it. But keeping the mystery alive. All right. How do we sign up for the Sulky newsletter? Great question. I will put a link in the comments for you. But you can also go to sulky.com. You have to kind of scroll all the way down and it'll say sign up for our newsletter and you can sign up right there. But I will also put a link in the chat today. I'll try to respond directly to you and make sure that you get that information. All right, perfect. Okay, I think we're all caught up on the questions. If you do have a question, I didn't get to it, put it in the chat, or you can always email us at customercare@sulky.com and we would be happy to assist you. Okay, well, everyone, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope you are surrounded by friends and family, or alone if you prefer to be alone. Whatever you enjoy for this holiday, I hope that your belly is full and that your weather is great and that you have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you next Tuesday for another